Marketing environment is the forces that affects the ability of a marketer to conduct its marketing activities. Okay, so marketing activities that we have learned in the previous classes includes marketing planning, marketing implementation, as well as marketing control. Okay, so these activities is affected by forces in the world lah sebenarnya. Okay, the forces that affects the ability of the marketers or company to conduct its marketing activities. What kind of activities? The one that I have said earlier: marketing planning, marketing implementation, and marketing control. Okay, so that is the definition of marketing environment. Okay, in marketing environment, there are two types of environment. The first one is micro environment, and the second one is macro environment. Okay, so micro and macro. Okay, while the marketing environment is the bigger globe or the bigger circle, right? The smaller circle inside our marketing environment is macro environment. Okay, so macro environment is the bigger societal forces that affects the micro environment of a company. Okay, so now that we have mentioned micro environment, what is micro environment? Micro environment is the forces closest to the company that plays an important role on the company's ability to fulfill its customers' need. Okay, so essentially, when we looking at the bigger picture here, is that the company is the smallest in the picture here, where micro environment is slightly bigger. Macro environment is bigger than micro environment, and together they makes up the totality of the marketing environment. The first one, the company is the not the actual company, not the building or the servicescape, but rather than the internal environment of the company that is marketing the product. Okay, so it includes different departments, for example, finance departments, accounting departments, etc. Okay, so those different departments builds up the internal environment of the company, and this internal environment of the company is going to affect the company's ability to fulfill the customer's need. Okay, so in terms of what? In terms of its employees, in terms of its policies, in terms of its service. Okay, so these individual factors in the internal environment of the company can help the company to better fulfill their customers' need, or the other way around. Okay, and this internal environment in a company must be taken into account when designing marketing plan. Okay, in chapter 1 we have learned that markets is a person, people who buy the product or services, which can be categorized by 5 categories. Okay, which they includes consumer market, business market, reseller market, government market, as well as the last one is internal market. Consumer market are those type of market that essentially the end user of the product or services, meaning that they consume the service or product. For example, when you buy an ice cream at the shop, you eat the ice cream, meaning that you are the consumer market, a market who consume. Okay, the buyer who consume the product or services. Okay, the second one here is business market. Okay, so basically business market is contrary to consumer market, where consumer market is the end user of the product or services. Business market is not the end user of the product or services, rather than they are the person or the type of people that produces something out of the product that they acquire ataupun beli, bought. Okay, so this is business market. They buy something and process the goods or services, and then they sell it to the other person. And the other person is essentially can be a market which is consumer market. Okay, for example, if you go to a restaurant, okay, you ordered egg fried rice. Okay, so the restaurant will cook the egg fried rice. Okay, but in order for them to cook the egg fried rice to you, they need to have the ingredients, and that ingredient is bought from, let's say, a retailer. Okay, so they buy those raw materials from the retailer, and then they process the raw material so that they can sell it to you. That is a business market, which is contrary to the consumer market, where consumer market buys and consume the product. Business market are the types of buyer who buys the product and processes the products, and then they sell the product that they have processed. Okay, so that is the second category of customer market. The third one here is reseller market. Okay, so basically this one is more is a simpler concept of consumer market, customer market. I mean, reseller market is just the type of market that buys some things and then resell without process anything. They completely just resell the product that they buy, maybe for a profit. Okay, so that is reseller. For example, if you buy something in the Alibaba marketplace, right, and then you sell it on, for example, Shopee. Okay, you buy something somewhere in a large quantity to get you the economies of scale, and then you resell them back as it actuality, as it original form, where there is no alteration made to the product. So basically that is a reseller market. The fourth one, okay, government market. Government market is practically the customer, the certain product is government. Okay, this is essentially for government use, or to give, or the government wants to give to the needies, or the government wants to use it so that the public can use it. Regardless, it is the types of market that where the buyer is government. Okay, it doesn't matter what the government will do with the products or services. Okay, as long as the product and services is being bought by the government, then the market here is government market. Okay, international market, where it happens on international level. So it doesn't really have to be any specific way. Okay, if you are a consumer market but exists in a way that internationally, how do you call it? It is internationally involved. You are still an international market. Okay, regardless of you buy a shirt or a shirt in a website which the seller comes from abroad or from overseas, it means that you are an international market, even though that you are consuming or using the product as the end user. Okay, similar to business market, reseller market, or government market, it doesn't matter if the transaction happens to be in a way that it is international, then it is an international market. Okay, so that is the consumer markets. The public. Public is the group of people with vested interest in an organization that could affect the organization's ability to achieve its objective, which includes financial institutions, media, government, citizen action group, local people, internal people, as well as general public. Okay, public is essentially every single one of us. Everybody is the public. Supplier is the provider of the resources needed by the company to produce its goods and services. Okay, a good supplier will help you to better serve your customer. A not so good supplier or a bad supplier will renders you ineffective in delivering your consumer or your customers' needs and wants. Okay. The next one is competitors. The competitors is other organizations competing with the company for the same consumers with the intention of fulfilling the same needs and wants. Okay. For example, KFC. The competitor might be McDonald's. Okay. There might be Wendy's, there might be Four Fingers, there might be apa lagi? Banyak lah kan? Okay, so that is competitors. Okay, and the last one here is marketing intermediaries. Okay, which essentially the middlemen who help the company to promote, sell, and distribute its goods to the final buyer. Okay, so marketing intermediaries includes reseller, physical distribution firms, marketing services agencies, and financial intermediaries. Okay, so basically that is it for the microenvironment. We are going to continue with the next subtopic in the next video. Okay, till then, Assalamualaikum. Bye.